The battlefield on Carath 9 was finally quiet. Smoke drifted through shattered crystalline spires, glowing faintly under the dying light of the planet's twin suns. Broken war machines lay half-melted in the dust, and the air smelled of scorched metal and alien blood. For the first time in hours, no weapons fired. Private First Class Ethan Cross of the United Earth Expeditionary Force leaned heavily on his rifle, chest rising and falling in shallow breaths. His armor was cracked, his left arm numb, and warning symbols flashed relentlessly across his visor. Mission status: catastrophic. Casualties: unacceptable. Command, he muttered into his comm, voice hoarse. Area secure, I think. Static answered. Then, faintly, a voice, not human, echoed through the ruins. Help! Ethan froze. Most soldiers would have ignored it. Carath 9 was a contested world, and the enemy had learned to mimic distress calls. But this voice wasn't pleading. It was fading. He followed it into the remains of a shattered palace, once belonging to the Elthari, an ancient and neutral species dragged unwillingly into the war. That's when he saw her. She lay on a slab of fractured crystal, wings torn and folded uselessly at her sides, silver-blue blood pooling beneath her. Her armor, royal, unmistakable, was split open near her chest, where a dark wound pulsed weakly with dim light. Princess Lyraith Aelvarin, heir to the Elthari Star Throne. Ethan recognized her from briefings and diplomatic holos. Regal. Untouchable. Untouchably important. Now she was dying. Her eyes, large, luminous, and filled with stars, focused on him weakly. A human, she whispered, translator barely functioning. How unfortunate. Ethan dropped to his knees beside her. Don't talk, he said automatically, scanning her with his medkit. The display flashed red instantly. Critical. Elthari biology incompatible. Blood loss fatal. He cursed under his breath. Her kind required a rare bioreactive plasma found only in Elthari bloodlines. Without it, their cellular matrices collapsed. No supplies. No medship. No time. Lyraith watched him quietly. You should leave, she said. My death will draw attention. You will be hunted. Not my style, Ethan replied. He checked the medkit again, then paused. One emergency option blinked on his display. Experimental. Untested. Flagged with enough warnings to make a commander faint. Cross-species blood stabilization, human only, high risk. Ethan stared at it. Human blood was absurdly adaptable. Earth's brutal evolutionary history had left it aggressive, regenerative, and frighteningly resilient. In rare cases, it could temporarily stabilize alien systems, at great cost to the donor. Temporary. Usually fatal. Lyraith noticed his hesitation. What are you considering? She asked. Ethan met her gaze. Something incredibly stupid. Her eyes widened slightly. No, she said immediately. Absolutely not. Human blood is volatile. It could kill us both. Maybe, Ethan said. But you'll definitely die if I don't try. She struggled to lift her hand, fingers trembling as she grabbed his wrist. You owe me nothing, she said fiercely. I am not your cause. I am not your war. Ethan smiled faintly. Yeah, he said softly. But you're someone. He didn't wait for her permission. The pain was immediate. The injector pierced his arm, drawing blood and routing it through the medkit's converter before flooding it into Lyraith's wound. Ethan gritted his teeth as the machine screamed warnings, his vision blurring. Lyraith arched with a sharp gasp. Light erupted from her veins. Her wings twitched violently, and her bioluminescent markings flared bright enough to crack the crystal slab beneath her. Ethan collapsed to one knee, gasping as something tugged at his senses, like gravity had shifted inside his chest. "Stop!" Lyraith cried, clutching his arm. "You're destabilizing."
"I'm fine," Ethan lied. He wasn't. He felt her. Not physically, emotionally.
Fear, pain, shock, and something else. Connection. The medkit beeped sharply, then fell silent.
Lyraith's wound sealed.
Her breathing steadied. Her eyes, once dim, burned with brilliant starlight.
Ethan swayed.
"Guess it worked," he muttered, and collapsed face first onto the palace floor.
He woke up in light.
Soft, warm, humming with energy that made his skin tingle. He lay on a floating platform surrounded by translucent curtains and faintly glowing symbols.
"Easy," a voice said urgently.
Lyraith hovered beside him, fully healed, wings restored, her presence radiant enough to make his heart stutter. "You've been unconscious for 2 days," she said.
"You nearly died."
Ethan tried to sit up and failed. "Still alive, though."
She stared at him.
"You gave me your blood," she said slowly.
"Not a ritual exchange. Not a treaty.
A sacrifice." "Didn't feel that dramatic at the time," Ethan replied weakly. Her expression tightened. "You don't understand what you did," she said. "Althari blood bonds with what saves it. Our people evolved that way, to remember debts and protect them." Ethan frowned. "That sounds ominous."
She leaned closer, eyes searching his.
"I can feel you," she admitted. "Your presence.
Your emotions. When you are in pain. I know." Ethan swallowed.
"That might be a problem."
It was.
When the Althari High Council learned what had happened, panic erupted. A human soldier, an ordinary one, had formed a life bond with the royal heir. A bond older than their empire, sacred and irreversible. By law, Lyraith could not allow Ethan to leave her protection.
By instinct, she didn't want to.
"They will execute him," one counselor hissed. "Or dissect him."
"They will do neither," Lyraith snapped.
"He is under my protection. He is a liability." "He is alive because of me," she countered. "And I am alive because of him." Ethan, standing awkwardly in ceremonial robes that didn't quite fit, raised a hand. "For what it's worth," he said, "I really didn't mean to cause an interstellar crisis." Lyraith glanced at him, and her anger softened instantly.
The council noticed. That terrified them. United Earth Command demanded Ethan's return.
The Althari refused. Tensions rose.
Fleets mobilized. Diplomats panicked.
And Lyraith refused to let Ethan leave her side. "You can't just keep me here," he said one night as they stood on a balcony overlooking Iltha Prime's glowing skies. "I can," she replied simply.
"And I will."
"That's not fair," he said gently.
"I chose to save you."
"That doesn't mean I belong to you." She turned to him, pain flickering across her luminous features.
"You think I wish to cage you?" she asked.
"I am terrified."
He blinked.
"Of what?"
"Of losing you," she whispered. "I felt your heart slow when you collapsed. I felt your fear."
"If you leave, and something happens to you, I will feel that too."
Ethan was quiet for a long time.
"Finally," he said, "then don't hold me here."
She looked at him sharply.
"Stand with me," he continued.
"As allies. As equals.
Not as a prisoner and a protector." Her wings rustled softly. You are asking a princess to defy her people.
He smiled faintly. Seems fair. I defied biology.
The solution rewrote history.
Ethan was released from military service and named human liaison of the life bond, protected under L3 law. The bond was formalized not as ownership, but as partnership. Lyraith refused every suggestion to sever it. I will not undo what saved my life, she declared before the galaxy. Nor will I abandon the one who gave it. Years later, Ethan would walk freely among the stars not as a soldier, but as a bridge between worlds. And Lyraith would rule beside him not because she had to, but because she refused to let go of the human who taught her that sometimes, the strongest bond in the universe begins with a simple choice. To give blood. And stay.